you can eat on stream.
Yeah, I was just gross eating chips.
People have to pay more if they want to see me eating. Hello and welcome everybody out there in YouTube and D&D land. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Before we jump in the action, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All of those things help us out tremendously. If you're interested in supporting our community a little bit further, consider becoming a member here on our YouTube channel. Memberships start at just $2 a month, and you gain access to some really cool emotes. If you are interested in joining any of our campaigns, we have open slots available for a Friday early campaign that will start between noon and 1 p.m. EST. If you're interested in joining in on that action and fun, be sure to reach out to me and let me know. We'll see if we can't get you all set up inside. Anyways, I believe that's going to be all of my shameless self-promoting. How about we get into the action? Telsha, what happened last session?
Last time, we reached the port of Jigao, and we decided to explore through the city to try and find our point of contact, checking at the docks first as Bernie led the way, seeing as he's the sailor that... Well, by sailor, I mean person who knows boats the most. And he ended up talking to this very old goblin fellow with very weathered skin who pointed us towards a bar where not towards the bar, towards the dock that had the boat that we needed to go on, which ended up being a galleon. The single person on there, a Zemnian half-elf, pointed us towards the bar where the captain and his uncle happened to be at the time. Where after some joking around and waiting for them to sober up the next day and making it there with an hour to spare, boarded the ship and decided to cross the, the gulch, where we had a bit of time to talk, and Ekra threw over Natalie's bag of gems to an attempt to free herself, which gotta respect. Only for Natalie to convince Lily to give her a gem to allow her to renew the bindings to both Hop and Ekra. And as a result, we ended up fishing for a while over the boat to try and get some clams that had pearls in them for continued renewal of the binding. After some heart to heart and talking with one another, during a moment, Miriam started to count to 13 again, at which point we started to talk out like what exactly happened here. And after pointing out from several people and realizing that he wasn't always like this, I casted a greater restoration on him, to which point the fear or curse was lifted, as he had a fear of the number 13. And in the process, we were concerned that in the process, we figured out that it was connected to the singularities. And in the process, was convinced to cast it on myself and realized that I had been affected too. But unlike Miriam in a negative way, mine was a positive way. Realizing that I had been cursed to only do good things. And as a result of the end of it, decided that would rather do good things than evil things, so weird alignment shenanigans. Bernie walked down as he was upset, learning that a lot of the choices were likely forced. But we made it to Far Haram, where we took a small little boat over to land, and at which point we probably got on the ghost ship, and the captain was like, "What the fuck?" And yeah, we started making our way through Far Haram.
Well, there's a few more things in there.
Where we saw zombies, or bloaters, as I believe Burn called them.
As he predicted.
Yeah, that's actually kind of... Yeah.
That was hilarious.
And that is how we multi-class in the Divination Wizard.
Wait, am I becoming that predictable as a DM? Do I have to just start throwing random shit at you?
Yeah. Look, I'm not going to say anything, because if I do say anything, you're going to do it. You don't antagonize the DM.
I mean,
Too
mine
late. This
does.
party already incurred my wrath. Anyways.
I mean, we're effectively doing a WoW raid at the moment.
Pretty close, yeah. So,
Hey.
you missed out about the part where Natalie Clover, whoever the fuck she is, ended up. Sorry, trying not to burp in your ears. Ended up having to stone form Ekra so that Ekra could come with all of you into the Shadowfell.
Right.
As devils are not allowed to be in that territory. It's the only way that you could do that. And she, for once, sympathized with the devil by realizing she had something personal she wishes to do when she gets back to hell and giving her that 1 hour of freedom that she's requesting. So, you all wait up on your ship until morning, correct?
I mean, if we don't, we're surrounded by the undead.
Okay. So, from up top, I would like your watch orders. Oh, wait, we already did that last session, didn't we?
Yep. That's how we found out about the zombies. Damn bambos.
Jorhas watch order. Mirian 1, Tosha 2, Bernie 3, Lily Natalie 4. I would like perception checks going in descending order. So Mirian first, then Tosha, then Bernie, then Lily.
Oh,
Damn.
And then Lily.
Yep, the roll 20 was lagging.
Roll 20 has been shitty this weekend, so fair warning, everybody.
Why should they care? It's not like there's something that would drag all the bandwidth out of the internet.
Super Bowl's not even that big anymore. The LCS is bigger than it. And StarCraft tournaments and anyways. You guys should look up those numbers. It's actually hilarious. How small the Super Bowl is compared to internet shit.
Well, compared freaking FIFA to the World Cup.
Oh, Jesus. So, Mirian, on your watch, you're patrolling around the top deck, taking this one evening to still educate all of your skeletons, but mostly to be vigilant for what may lie below. Looking down there, the sun is settling, and of course, as it does, you see these mounds of undead starting to move out. Those stuck underneath these large piles that you've seen everywhere, some of them grabbing weapons, some of them having armor slated against them. You see them wander aimlessly, patrolling this area. You see there's not really any organization to them. They just seem to be en masse. And that's all you can see during your watch. Tosha, you come up when it is, well, deeper into the night, allowing only the 2 moons in the sky, one of which is full, one of which is crescent, to peer down and shed light across this open field in front of you. When you look at them, you start to notice a pattern. The way they move is similar to a patrol that people would do while guarding a noble estate or guarding a influential person's shipments.
Mhm.
Your history as an assassin, you knew how to learn these and watch them. However, there's so many of them, this is something that you would dictate as a impossible job.
I'm gonna note down what I can of patrol seeing, see if there's a pattern to it at all. other
Well,
than the
You
normal
definitely
patrol.
notice the pattern, but it's not something that you could predict and evade just because of sheer number.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Okay. We're stopping wings for a little while. Whew. Anyways, Bernie, with your 30. These droves of undead, they are definitely here as sentinels to protect something. In fact, they're all right next to that mountain that you have to get inside of. None of them move further than 3 miles away from it, and there's so many you could nearly go 100 feet without engaging with them from this far out. You even see some of them are trying to get into that mountain, slumping against the walls, pushing into it.
Does it look like they're sort of bunching up in any particular areas against the mountain? There's like one place that has a larger gathering of them.
There's this one portion of the mountain that has a ravine carved into it, deeper in. It goes outside of your vision, but they seem to be congregating towards the entrance of that ravine. Now, the problem with that ravine is that would not have daylight shed on it until noon. It's
Right.
slender enough that nothing would peer in there, and the daylight would only be shed upon it for a few hours. But they all seem to be moving in there.
I'll take my the spyglass and just concentrate on that area for a moment, just trying to see if there's anything particular that stands out in any ways other than that.
Okay.
And yeah.
Roll me a nature check.
Oh, nature.
Uh-huh.
18.
You've been hanging out with Tolsha a lot.
Yeah.
So, you're peering out there, looking at all the rocks, all of the crevices, all of the portions of this monstrously black slated mountain that have crumbled and fallen, and the sheer edge and wall that is created before that ravine. And when you're looking towards that ravine, the ship is slowly drifting forward, you know, constantly moving as the ship does. And when you look down there, at first, what you were seeing down there, the sharp edges and large jettisons of earth jaggedly sticking out, that's what you thought they were. No, those are tusks. You see not what it's attached to, but down in that ravine, there is something buried under the ground that has tusks larger than most buildings you've ever seen.
Okay. Then I immediately tense up a little bit. I'm just shit. Do I get? I don't get the sense that there's anything like that. Whatever has these tusks is dead, right?
Well, you have no sense of it being dead or alive. You just make sense that that's not actually jagged rocks. That's tusks from something buried beneath the ground. At least you'll be alert of it when you move down there tomorrow.
Yeah. While I'm keeping the spyglass pointed at it, well, I know Divine Sense has a reach, but I'm gonna try to use that anyway and just try to get a sense of what it might be.
Error 404 message. It is too far away.
Yep.
You'll have to get closer.
Yep.
I mean, you do sense undead up on the ship, but you know them. They've been hanging out for a while. Curly, Mo.
Yep. Well, at the end of my shift, I'm going to go and get Lily, and show her with a spyglass just what I've been seeing.
Okay. Lily, you're brought out of your slumbered state. Go ahead, Bernie.
Hey there, you awake? Do you
I'm
ever...
always awake, Bernie.
Right. Well, come over here. I've got something to show you.
I swear,
quite-
if you're about to make me come over
It's
here,
not a
and...
prank. It's actually quite disconcerting.
Oh no, okay. As long as it's not a pun.
Oh, no. It's not time for punishment right now. Right. So over in that ravine over there, yeah, you got that area. Just look with the spyglass here. You see those pointy things? I thought at first it was like rocks, but it looks like it's actually tusks of some giant creature.
I see.
And
You want me to blow them up?
Well, not right now. I'm just saying we need to figure something out for this, because that place is not going to have any sunlight for most of the day. At least by my estimates. Probably much later in the day, at least. Maybe if you had like a big mirror or something, we could position up on the mountaintop and then we could point sunlight down into the ravine. Maybe we could clear a path too, because there's a lot of those ballooners down there. It looks like they're actually sort of like patrolling the area, or they seem to be.
Well, I mean, I don't think the ballooners would cause us too much issue. Just keep our distance and take them out from a distance.
Right.
And then they explode, probably.
Yeah, well, normally these ballooners aren't too tough. Well, I'm not sure how these are, of course, but
So, Bernie, just
the
to
one
make
I'm
sure
used-
something is a little clear,
Yep.
one of these ballooners in your fleet can take out a small ship.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
that's usually just a small ship. You are more of a badass individually than that entire ship. However, in mass, they are an issue. Just making sure you have a proper scaling for how deadly they are.
Okay. Yeah. So these things can actually, pack quite a bit of a punch. We can't take on all of them. That'd be tantamount to suicide, at least if we're then immediately following up with going into the Shadowfell.
I mean, not with that sort of attitude.
Well, blind optimism doesn't help. So, would you be able to construct some kind of giant mirror or something in some kind of quick order?
Sorry, ignore that.
I don't
we
know
have
about it.
we have a lot of silver. We could melt it or down or something.
I mean, I don't remember who currently has it, but I believe I did give one of you a gem of brightness.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
That would help light things up. And alternatively, I don't see us... A giant mirror is not really going to do much unless we get into a proper positioning for it. Whereas if instead we could make a lens focus, we could concentrate the light into a single area, which would eventually cause some sort of burns, but that's also going to take some considerable statistics, some mathematics, works, and physics.
Right. Well, sure.
Question for you, Lily. Do you have any divination spells?
Prepared?
Of, like, I'd say second level or higher. No, like divination spells that you have utilized and you have learned and you have.
I would need to go through my spell list real quick to.
All right, not shit that obviously you haven't done yet because you haven't learned about it yet, but like things that you've actively done, second level or higher. Any?
I think the closest is see invisibility.
Is that divination?
That's divination, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Holy shit, I didn't know that one.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you see invisible stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Roll me a nature check. What does that come out to?
Just 12. I'm
Okay.
not gonna flash just yet.
12. I mean, you haven't done a lot of work with daylight or anything surrounding it at all. You don't know that much.
Well, whatever the case, I think that's probably where we need to go, at least. At the very least, we need to check it out. Could be that this portal is, well, I don't know, maybe inside this dead beast or something.
Well, I mean, alternatively, we could, if you're so scared of things like that, we could instead just set the area on fire. Lots and lots of fire.
I mean, sure, that would help.
I mean, I'll just, the
Yeah.
only downside is if those things are tougher than we think, then it would just be a situation where, oh yeah, they're on fire because they're dying, or if they're still, like, coming at us, oh no, now they're on fire.
Right. Let me just think. Joey, in sort of my experience, these ballooners, how do they react to? Well, do they explode when you kill them? In any kind of way?
Oh, history or arcana.
Oh.
One would be if you've encountered it before through history, or if you can logically figure that out through arcana.
Yeah, it'd be history then. 10.
So, you've heard of them doing that before, but you've never seen it.
Well, I have heard that these things can actually explode. Probably because of all the gas and stuff inside them, when they rot. But, if we were able to somehow maybe concentrate most of them in some area, we could try to set off some kind of chain reaction, maybe.
So in other words, just lure them into a single place, probably a choke point, and then blow them all up.
Something like that. Well, anyway, we should probably have a closer look at it tomorrow, though.
Well,
But-
you need to get some rest, whereas I'm going to keep an eye out and maybe formulate a plan to properly do that.
Yeah. There was one thing I wanted to ask, though, because there's this, well, the problem with getting, once we do actually find, I hope, her father, we need to, so the plan is to put her and Ekra and Hop inside the bag of holding. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if
I'm
worst
just-
case scenario, then what you need to do is just leave me behind, because unlike you all, I would be able to probably last in that plane due to no longer being flesh and blood.
Right. Well, that's not my only concern. I'm just these bags of holding. I don't really know how they work, but what happens to one if it gets torn or destroyed or at least broken somehow with the people on the inside?
It all spills out, Bernie.
Spills
Alternatively,
out.
if you put one within another, those two extra dimensional spaces causes a reaction in which everything is then flung into the astral sea.
Right. Well, that's not good. But so if you just right, I mean, I'm just saying that like if someone were to well, if there was like a cut or something in the bag of holding, would it just spills out all the contents?
Essentially,
Right. Okay. Right. Well. Anyway, more worries for another day, I suppose. I'll go and get some rest.
So, Lily, now your watch. As you are keeping a careful eye out on the horizon, now that your attention was drawn over towards that ravine, you peer at it, looking at it carefully.
looking at it carefully.
Sorry, had to mute myself for a second. Coughing. You see some of them move into the ravine. The bloated ones, however, they don't seem to move in so much as step towards it and then stop. There's multiple forms of undead out here. There's skeletons, there's zombies, there's these bloated creatures, there's these crawling hands, these flying bits of limbs. It's all very decrepit and very gothic in nature. But you keep watching. Those bloated creatures are creating what appears to be like a wall out here. Periodically moving deeper inside and then moving like that across the ravine. They're clearly defending it.
Would Lily, with her high intelligence, be able to formulate a good plan that would essentially do what Bernie mentioned, which is gather them into a single spot to take care of them all at once?
You might be able to coerce them into making a bad decision like that.
Well, I should ask, is there, with my intelligence, is there any suggestions of what we could do?
So, if you're trying to deal with these creatures, you would need a shit ton of long-distance, powerful spells, magic, explosives, whatever you can get. That would be the brute force, and you already came up with that. Now, if you're not brute forcing this, the only other option you can think of would be using something to your advantage. And from your interactions with your brother, one thing you know that undead are very bad at is they're stupid. So if you're looking for a way to better assist yourself out here, manipulate their lack of intelligence.
All right. Let's see. I think I did prepare this today, so this might work out. Yeah, and this lasts that lasts a while. Lily's gonna go ahead and find. Actually, do I have anything in my thing that will work for that? she's gonna take her. No, I want to use that. She's gonna take an item essentially. I'm still trying to figure out what item, but she's going to turn it into a tiny servant. During her watch.
Okay. So you now have tiny servants.
Mm-hmm. Or just one. Is it two? No, it's just this one.
Okay. You have a tiny servant.
Yes, and for now, I'm still kind of working out the idea in my head, but for now she is just gonna kind of attach it to her armor until she needs it.
Okay. So, the rest of the night goes by. Everyone, you wake up completing a long rest. Congratulations. As the sun is beginning to set, you all realize the unfortunate state of the position of this mountain and foul area. Because of how far north you are, and because of the landmass you are on, the day is very short. And the sun seems to be able to set quickly. Meaning you have less time in daylight out here than you do other places in your world.
No.
Any of you proficient in survival? You may roll a survival check. Any and all. 12, 14. Is that it? Perfect. Y'all would be so fucked without these two. It's always the big siblings.
Honestly.
So, Bernie, you think daytime out here for like the bulk of the territory, you probably have 8 hours of daylight. Tolsha, closer to 7.5, maybe even 7.
We'll have at least 7 hours maybe of daylight. That's based off the low end, based off what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, let's just assume the worst and expect 6 hours then.
Marion.
Yeah.
Marion.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I thought Bernie was still speaking before you interrupted. Please, Bernie, continue.
I'm just going to try to explain the dilemma to everyone in the group and say that if we manage to get a place like a vantage point up on the mountain over there, where there should be some sunlight, then we could maybe, if we have at least some kind of mirror, we could direct some sunlight down there and create kind of like a safe zone, maybe.
Tosha, you have extensive knowledge of divination style magic. Well, divination magic in general.
Yes, I have a lot of divination spells.
Yup. You, as a cleric, may roll an Arcana or Religion check.
I'm gonna roll Arcana.
I'm gonna flash that genius too. So 20.
Dirty 20. Unfortunately, Tolsha, reflective surfaces over the sun would not actually assist you. If that was the case, as any person who extensively studies divination magic, like you have, to a degree, knows, moonlight would act the same way as daylight. since it is just a reflection of the sun off the moons. The only real solution would be something that comes from a solar or divine source of light. And a powerful one at that, which you can produce. I believe you know the daylight spell?
I know daylight, and I also have sunbeam, which
both of those apply.
okay.
You are a walking source of that light.
I also have daylight prepared, just in case.
Oh shit, you
Here's-
have that level of spell slot. I apologize, I forgot. I always
Yeah,
assume
no,
paladins
of
don't
course.
have high level slots.
Yeah.
Just like artificers, only
Yeah.
up to 5th.
Well,
Yeah.
it's the third
Well,
level
artificers
for a
are
paladin.
learned, so I would allow them to, based off of their intelligence, know how something would interact.
That wouldn't work, Bernie.
Right. Well, I suppose.
It has to be daylight, so spells like, well, daylight and sunbeam would work, but a mirror wouldn't, because if it would, then they wouldn't be active at night
Right.
because
Well,
the
yeah.
moons reflect the sunlight.
Yeah. Well, I did ask the lawbearer for a daylight blessing today, so
Well,
I could do that at least.
yeah, and if we can't find a way to sneak past them, which, given their numbers, seems unlikely, we could do the alternate version of stealth, because it's still stealth if there's no witnesses, correct?
Right.
Yes, maybe.
Well, the thing is, if we manage to locate exactly where we need to go, then we could create a kind of safe zone for ourselves with the daylight, because that lasts about an hour, I believe. And I could
Daylight's
also
an
set up-
hour.
I could also set up a magic circle to
Is
ward
it-
off the undead if they if there is an entrance point that we could block off behind us with a magic circle. That would help as well. It would give us an hour at least.
The daylight spell, is it stationary or can you attach it to something and carry it?
It's stationary.
Well, it's
But it's quite a
stationary, but
lot.
you can put it on an object.
Well, if that's the case, why don't we put it on this little fellow? And Lily will show the tiny servant, which I'm just gonna say is a cup holder she found.
It's just a cup holder?
A little cup holder with
Oh,
tiny legs
yeah.
now, because it's tiny servant.
Yeah, I didn't actually see. Yeah, you can actually put it on an object, right?
So, what's the purpose of that one, Lily?
Well, I had the idea that we still have that one ever smoking bottle that we could put it in here and then we could have it run around causing like a fog. But alternative, we could also put some daylight into it. Right?
Into the
mean-
bottle.
And onto the servant.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It would have to be something the servant could carry.
Oh, you don't think he's
Servant
strong
not
enough to
count as an
carry it?
object?
Come on. Hey, little guy, flex those muscles. And then you see the little legs go up and do like a little flexing motion.
Okay.
All do see that, yes.
Well, there's. I mean, this could be maybe a little bit more risk. No, we still need the bag of holding, right? So we couldn't use that to. What was that you said, Lily? You could turn it into like a vortex into the astral plane or
I'm
something.
I'm not gonna destroy the bag of holding when we got all our stuff in there, Bernie.
Well, like, no, I'm just saying if we took that out first, then we could potentially use it as a weapon of some kind. Then,
Bernie,
at
do you
least- what?
do you remember all the stuff we have in there?
No.
A lot.
Well, we take out the most valuable things, Well, the gold and all that, at least. We should actually. I think we should have a sort of spill all of it out and see what we actually got in there. Maybe some of it's useful. I don't even remember half of it.
We have a ledger with it. It's one of the things we've been using to keep track of everything.
Indeed, including we still have 5 gallons of oil we could use if we wanted to, set things on fire.
Well, that's helpful.
5 gallons of oil? Wait, what happened to the pepper grenades? Didn't we have like 5 of those?
I've got those on my person,
Ah, okay.
and I still also have some napalm bombs.
What's that?
Well-
Napalm, is that some kind of fruit?
Do you want to find out?
Well, since you said bomb, probably not.
Right. So, think of. Do you remember that one? That tar substance that that hot tar you pour on people in sieges. Think of
Yeah.
that, but on fire.
Right. Yeah. That's helpful.
In preparation of accidentally running into a horde, either here or the Shadowfell, I have also switched to area attack spells, mostly.
I mean, as much as we can try to sneak by, it might just be a better option to brute force it in this case.
I believe we're going to have to brute force it for a simple reason.
Right. I do kind of agree, but I think we should at least do some better scouting ahead if we can, from a distance, of course, and try to see if we can find the actual point of entry. Because
Right.
I mean, we can't just go running into a horde of zombies and then start looking. We need to know where we're going first.
Tulsha, what was your reason? Said we might have to.
Oh, it's simple. When we're in the Shadowfell, they can sense us no matter where we are, remember?
Right.
So invisibility and stuff wouldn't work, but something like non-detection might?
The question then remains, how much of that innate power do they carry over with this close to a portal to it?
I don't know. And I don't know if the Shadowfell's extended out here. But speaking of items, do you mind if I go and take the burial spear out of the bag, Lily?
I mean, I can take it out, yes.
And I was gonna attempt to attune to it. As well, I don't know if undead can be affected by an effect that can instantly kill something. Does it?
Some of them have the ability to stop themselves from dying, but
They're already
if it
dead.
is damage, then it should still function. Is that true, DM? Through my study of the undead, is that roughly true?
Yeah. And also, just to remind you all, because it's been a few weeks since you heard about this location, all of the undead out here seem to respawn every evening. No matter how many times they're destroyed, how they're destroyed, they come back.
Gotcha.
Right.
But I was going to attune to that. I'm gonna have to unattune from the gauntlets of ogre power. Just shame. I enjoy the feeling of being strong. But it was either that or the staff of healing, and I have a feeling the staff of healing will be more effective.
What's your third one?
The necklace that we got from the moat. And it gives me the shield spell and haste spell once a day. And the shield part is definitely very helpful.
I would also like to take something out of the bag of holding when you're done.
Go ahead and just take out the spear.
This is an emergency that I just want to. This is for an emergency, and hopefully will never have to come of it. I'm going to take one of the life bloom leaves and hand it to my skeleton for it to hold on to.
I'm actually
You
curious
know what
how...
those do.
Yeah. I'm actually curious what would happen. Yes. Because I'm quite curious. Because by the sounds of it, those are an intense source of divine connection to the Wild Mother, based off of what, or at least how, our one friend in Charis reacted. I wonder how that would work in a Shadowfell.
Well, even if it's not in the Shadowfell, if we get caught, maybe it can turn into a giant skeleton dryad and defend us.
Would that be an evil
No
dryad
idea.
then?
No idea. I honestly do not even know if I would still have control over it at that point.
I don't know, or even if that's probably a new creature. Then I've never heard of something like that.
I figure if we're royally screwed and we need to run, that would at least buy us some time.
Right. Anyways, we should probably start walking.
We have been walking this whole time. What are you talking about? We're not wasting our 6 hours of sunlight talking.
So you've all been traveling out there?
Yes.
Well, I'd assume we've been sort of standing in a safe place.
Okay, which one? You guys need to clarify for me. You know, for reasons.
Yeah, we need to have a proper plan here, I think. So guys, look, before we... What?
We could say we were on the boat when it was landing. We were talking about this.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure enough. But yeah. So we'd be landing somewhere where there would be, like, the first rays of daylight then. Or sunlight in the morning. Right, let's think about this. First of all, we have a lot of stuff in this bag of holding. If Natalie and the statue and Hop is going to fit in there, we might have to retrieve some of it. I'm going to go over to the statue of Ekra and try to lift it just to get a sense of how heavy it is.
Roughly about 80 pounds.
80 pounds for a bat statue?
Well, no, she turned out of her bat form before she was turned into a statue.
Oh,
yeah.
Remember, she wants to do anything in her power to spite Natalie.
Yeah.
So she will not be accommodating.
I thought it'd be a lot heavier, actually. So that's not bad.
It's pretty hollow, but like...
Oh, yeah, okay. Right, okay, well,
And the wings are thin.
Right. We'll probably need to be a bit careful with her, right?
Yes.
So, can we, because if we're going to fit all of them in there, we need to make sure that there's actually room first.
It's not so much room as much as it is weight, Bernie.
Well, weight and room, then.
To best explain this the best I can, when something goes in the bag of holding, it gets its own little separate plane of existence, and it doesn't exist until you call for it. Effectively, there is both everything and nothing in the bag at the same time. So space is not an issue.
Right. Well, anyway, we need to... Maybe we should if we take out all the heaviest stuff, the big heavy stuff we have in the, that's not worth that much. I mean, we have horse barding, we have all this mundane, like, what do we need 16 daggers and actually 24 daggers? Rapiers?
All right, fine. And Lily just begins, I guess, throwing out into the middle of nowhere the miscellaneous.
We'll just put it somewhere where we know where it is so that we can retrieve it later.
We're not gonna come back to this
You
spot.
could just put it with the
just
rowboat.
fuck it.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
All right,
we're
I
not
do
gonna
need a
do
list
it.
of all the shit you're leaving with that rowboat, just in case another group comes out here.
All right, might as well.
Because that's loot.
I mean, 5
Alright, I'll-
gallons of oil sounds like it's actually kind of heavy.
I mean, that's something
Again,
that
does
instead
not
of just
matter.
leaving around, we can just dump it out and cause like a giant fire to kill undead with.
Yeah. I'm just kind of suggesting we put all the all the mundane heavy shit somewhere where it's
And a
not-
lot of the stuff in there is just light. It just adds up.
Yeah, exactly.
Are those giant ant platings still viable at this point? It's been
I believe it is. It's just Lily never got the time to use it for
Yeah,
cool
because those were
stuff.
25 pounds.
You guys are hoarders.
I mean, Lily's a
what
hoarder.
D&D group isn't.
Yeah, true.
All right, keeping the smut books.
Priorities.
Yeah, I'm just going through it, like taking out all the things we don't need. We don't need any tents. We're not campers.
I mean, we might if there's ever an anti-magic area.
We don't need any tents.
Well, we could get more tents.
Get a
We're
lot more
past
tents. Alrighty. So, make sure you DM me that list of shit you're throwing out.
Oh, I'm just putting it in the Roll20 chat when I'm done. Which, honestly, I think I might just be about done. 'cause
Can you
the other
please
stuff's-
DM it to me?
Yes.
Thank you.
I guess we don't need these steel pole torches, so I'll take that out too.
But during this time, I'm unattuning from the gauntlets and attuned to the burial spear.
Okay. Unattuning from the gauntlets, attuning to the burial spear. Make sure you adapt that onto your character sheet. It is a homebrew item, so yeah.
Yes. Where are the unattuned from that?
We're really throwing out our lifetime supply of animal feed. We're gonna need that when we get the cart back.
No, no. Bernie wants to, lose the weight, so we're taking it out.
Well-
He's dictating what Lily puts in her bag, so just,
Yeah, I'm dictating that. This is called being prepared. He's a military man.
We've had this shit for over a year. You haven't bothered to care about it.
Yeah.
You only care about it now that you see it in front of you. Fucking ADD over here.
Yeah, Lily looks fondly at this rock that she picked up from the jungle way back when.
Hey, I can use those arrows. I'm gonna take those arrows.
No, they're thrown in the
20
back. No.
So we're just leaving like a rowboat full of shit up on the mountainside.
Yeah. Or the shoreline,
Someone's-
it's your call where.
Someone's gonna find it and do that little Ant-Man memes like, "What happened here?"
Yeah.
Right. Well, I understand having a plan, but this is... So, undead, from what I know, are stupid, except for the ones that Mirian's teaching, because they actually are getting an education. So,
Both of my undead give you the thumbs up. If I
So-
command them.
what
They're not
I'm
that smart
thinking
yet.
is...
Just agree with
It-
her. Just
is why don't we try to get as far as we can to find these things before evening comes, and if evening does come, we just get on the boat in the safety of the air and try again. We're trying to find this entrance, whatever, and those undead are building some sort of wall.
What?
And
Building
worst
a
comes to
wall.
worst, we throw the barrel of oil and blow them up.
Right.
Well, we have several things of oil.
Right. Well, I suggest we get as close as we can to that place with the tusks, and we put a daylight there. That should at least drive most of them off. Maybe some of them are somewhat less averse to sunlight.
It'll either drive them away or it'll just weaken them. Regardless, it's our best idea right now,
Right.
and I'm getting impatient here.
Yeah.
You
Let's,
literally have eternity. How are you impatient now?
Because there's a life on the line.
That's fair.
Yeah, there's our lives on the line as well. That's why I want to be prepared.
all right.
Well, don't worry, Bernie. If you fall in combat, Miriam here will bring you back, okay? I mean Tolsha.
No, thank you.
I definitely meant Tolsha.
Okay.
For sure.
And I don't want to come back like you either. No offense.
So, can you create a undead bone devil from a tiefling corpse? Did I say that out loud?
I mean, probably a better question. Can you create a robotic robot bone devil from a tiefling
I feel like
corpse?
smiting something.
Yeah, let's
Well,
go
there's a
down
bunch of
there.
undead over
I have
Anyway.
two choices right here.
Yeah. There's the wizard or the tin can. Actually,
Or
she's
this
made out of higher
attitude of
quality metals than
hypocrisy.
tin. I apologize for that, Lily.
Yeah.
Aluminum.
Aluminium? Nice.
Yeah,
Or is it platinum?
Platinum.
I'm gonna take the
Platinum. You were so close to executing that joke. God damn it. Anyway, guys. You all descend towards the ground. Once you land, you look nearby. And as previously stated, it's going to be very difficult for you guys to walk through here and not run into any of these large mounds. How comfortable do you all feel getting close to those mounds? Give me a distance.
10, 15 feet?
I would say maybe
no.
30.
Yeah, 30.
30?
Yeah. And I'm going to stay ready with daylight spell so that in case we start seeing movement, I'm going to position it as close to the site we're going to as possible.
So,
Well, also including our area.
one thing to remind you in 5e, when you are hold actioning, you do waste the spell at the end of your turn, even if you do not cast it. So you can't really
Right, yeah.
hold ready in 5e.
No, yeah, fair enough. But I'll
You're ready. You're ready.
In that same
So that
regard,
means you are
I'm gonna keep
forfeiting
kill-
a perception check for your surroundings, and instead you are only aware of what is directly near you. I need you to roll me a perception check.
All right. Or, actually, since it lasts a whole hour, I could just... Yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to put daylight on my shield.
And
Once we start
everything
getting
now
closer
knows
to
where
it.
we are.
And, yeah.
Well, that defeats the purpose of the tiny servant.
No, it doesn't, because I put it in the chat, and Tiny Servant is its own creature, technically. So Lily had it attuned to the Wand of Lightning Bolts.
Oh, dear God.
That's terrifying.
Okay,
So,
I'm just...
It's just a small little servant walking around holding a giant wand in its hand by
Well, no,
comparison
it's
to its
a-
size.
it's a cup holder, remember? So it's got a little, it's little.
Hold
Look,
That was almost as funny as if you gave it the ever-flowing chalice and just started running in circles as smoke appeared above it.
I'm just gonna say,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Shield Touch ready for whenever if anything starts to attack us, because I can snipe at about 240 feet away. It's a cantrip.
Yeah. All right, Bernie, perception, please.
Right, yeah. 30 again.
30.
Dear God.
Alrighty. So, you're keeping careful watch on your surroundings. I need somebody else now to roll me the survival check to make sure you don't get any closer than 30 feet from any of these mounds.
that'd be me.
All right.
I'll use session advantage.
All right.
This is so close to a 20.
So close.
So 16.
Okay. There's a couple of situations where you get closer than 30 feet to them, or you would have to turn around and walk for about 15, 20 minutes backwards to find a different path. You're all kind of stuck just dealing with it, unfortunately. I need a stealth check from all of you as you pass by them, moving closer.
If I get a 30 on this, I'm really surprised.
Doubtful.
Yeah, I can get
I'll
it.
call hacks.
Yeah, same here. 5.
I'm gonna use session advantage.
We're so stealthy, all of us.
Even with that, it's horrible.
Yeah, there's 100% going to be a fight.
I mean, there was always going to be a fight, whether the portal's in front of us or not is the issue.
Yeah.
So, you move closer towards them. And there's this one tight area you all kind of have to walk through, where the mounds are only separated by a couple of feet. Most of you are shuffling and walking through as best as you can. However, Tosha, you trip on one of these mounds, falling down face first and slamming into it. You recoil backwards a little bit. It doesn't seem to move or react.
I'll just stand very still as that happens. Are you okay?
Yeah. She's gonna move away carefully from it before getting back up. Dusting herself. Okay. Seems inactive.
Yeah.
Mirian,
Uh-oh.
your skeletons, they're out right now?
Yes, they're out with me pretty much forever now.
They all tilt their heads down and look over at that mound that Tosha fell into. In perfect unison.
Would I know what that symbolizes?
Roll me an insight check.
We all see that?
Hey, 22. We love 22. Just close
We
our
do
mouth.
love 22. Bernie, you're paying close attention to your sister, making sure she's okay, and that mound. I'd say Lily and Miriam see that.
Okay.
Since they're kind of like, in the back and the skeletons all just snapped.
Yep.
Miriam, you're not eventually trying to teach your skeletons how to dance in a synced choreography, right?
No.
Right, so that's probably not normal.
So, 22, Miriam. Your skeletons reacted as if they heard something, which is strange because they don't really hear per se. They feel your will and they comprehend that through a specific system of magic. But they reacted like they heard something from the mound and like they're listening to it.
Yet. We need to move now. My skeletons are reacting to whatever the hell that just triggered.
Right, let's get a move on then.
Get up and let's go.
So as you command your skeletons, you hear a chittering from their mouths. And they are following you, but they chitter.
I command them to stop chittering.
They stop.
Start rattling.
Hey, I taught them sign language. They can use their hands.
Oh. Ooh, but they only know simple words, right?
Yes, so it'd be like trying to say something in broken English.
Okay. The first one signs call.
Caw as in bird?
Call as in C-A-L-L. Call.
Call what?
Of Cthulhu.
The second one symbols us.
Call us. Is that what you're hearing?
The third one symbols yes.
Oh, there's only two.
Oh, sorry. Oh, fuck yeah.
Let's get turned
Ritmo. They both symbol yes.
It's the alarm is calling out to all of the undead that can hear it.
Right.
It's not good.
Well, let's get over to the tusks. I have a feeling that's where we're going.
Right.
Anyway.
And if they are all converging on us, it might be wise to, once we hurry and get there, maybe set up a, surprise, a trap, a method to, take out, do as much damage as we can.
Right.
Right. I mean, we probably don't have too much time.
So, the first one goes over towards Tolsha and, pushes against your shoulder, Tolsha, and then turns to Miriam and signs smell.
Bolsha is emitting a smell.
Excuse me?
Wow, that's a little rude.
Can I, since I've been around undead for so long, can I attempt to smell what they're smelling on Bolsha?
You can roll an Arcana check to see.
Okay. It's 14.
Some undead are so primal that their only reaction stems from the senses they still possess, one of which could be smell.
I think you just stepped in a stink trap.
You prestidigitation me then?
I can certainly try. I'm going to attempt to remove whatever scent and confer with my skeletons if they still smell it.
They symbol again smell.
It's not enough. Whatever it is stuck to you.
Damn it.
Oh man, you got undead skunked.
Is it magical?
Would a 14 let me know if it's magical?
You don't sense anything magical on her.
Might be the smell of life or something.
The other one
Or-
goes over and pushes Bernie in the shoulder.
Right. Fuck it. I'll just try this. And I'll pull up the cage full of mole rats,
Oh,
and
God.
I'll take a couple bottles of holy water, douse it on the mole rats, and then release them. And
I
I'm shooing
just
them away.
This is
I-
the
I
one
just
in
am-
scene.
I just imagine we're gonna get to the Shadowfell like a couple days later, and then all of a sudden it's like I hear something, and then the mole rat undead are gonna become like Barney, we're here for you.
Worth it. Just
So what are the odds those
It
things
could
trigger
work.
every other freaking trap in the area?
alrighty.
Well, and then they're the distraction.
So roll me a percentile die, Bernie. Let's see how spread you send them.
All right. And high is good.
High is better. Yeah.
All right.
Roll 100.
I'm actually really happy that you.
Oh. They
Hey,
run-
mind your wrenching.
That's not how his class works. They all run in a relatively straight line with one another, avoiding all the mounds.
Damn
The way
it!
you guys came.
Towards one of them.
They all seem really organized.
These damn mole rats.
You training them to follow
No.
over there?
They're just stupid.
Their survival instincts are too good.
I didn't want them to go in a straight line. I just wanted them to scatter.
You have
Oh,
another
well.
box of those for later, right?
Well, regular rats. Let me just delete my cage of mole rats.
Unfortunately.
So you're telling me you're leaving the cage here and not with the boat?
It's a fucking cage. It costs like 1 silver or something.
You guys forget how stupid rich you are? Like, you literally have go fuck yourself money. Like,
Yeah.
I had
Anyway.
to. I had to make the joke.
of course. So, after that occurs, the two skeletons, Miriam, you see the both of them are looking at one another and start chittering again.
That. Hands, words.
They turn to you and say, "Call."
All again. Jeez. Oh, they heard you heard a different call.
They sign no.
So no matter what, sneaking around is not going to be easy or possible or even possible. Sounds like.
They sign call again. They seem to just repeat that sign over and over towards you.
Maybe you should let the skeleton boys lead the way then, towards this call, or whatever.
Where's the call from again? Skeleton? Carl? Mo?
They look over at you, Lily, and they sign call. And then Mo pushes Curly in the shoulder and then signs call. And Curly pushes Mo and signs call.
I think your skeletons are malfunctioning.
No, they only know simple words. This is the best they can do.
They both move closer towards you, Miriam, and they both sign again, right in your face. Call.
I got 22 on insight. Does that help me?
They're trying to communicate to you something that they deem important.
Can Lily attempt an insight check?
I mean, sure. Yeah, two people can interact with it.
If anyone, she would be the one to be able to understand because she's worked with me so long.
Is that unnatural insight? Because she's not natural. I'm
So-
sorry.
Lily. They're acting very strange for how they usually act. Usually they don't take the initiative in any actions ever, though they have taken the initiative to communicate something to you, which is something they've never done before. They are actively trying to attempt to get Mirian to communicate with them differently.
Miriam, try a different way to communicate. Can you speak with them in an alternate way?
They both begin chittering.
Quick question with that insight. The chittering, is it like in some sort of code, like Morse code, or is it like
There hasn't been any pattern that you've been able to pick up from the chittering at all. It just seems loose and noisy, and this is the first time they've ever done that.
The only...
Are they trying to speak?
They can't. They don't have vocal cords, which is strange in of itself.
Lily, how did your old voice box work?
very carefully?
No, like, did it, based off intentions, say the words?
Yes. As
Can you-
well as what yeah, the intention and what the magic sort of worked with, like, and yeah, to summarize intention, it's hard to explain.
I give them a book and a quill and see if they're able to write.
Would your voice box work on the skeleton?
I no longer have it.
So
I should say it's pre-built into my armor.
one of them grabs the quill, holding it like a Neanderthal, and like stabs it through a few pages and starts ripping across.
Okay.
Which is about as good as they've ever performed with that task.
Right. That's the thing. The spell, I can command them psychically, but it doesn't work both ways, does it?
Have you tried?
Well, let's just move on towards the center of the ravine thing over there, and maybe it'll be clearer than when we get closer.
Bernie, could you use the detect thoughts on them?
On skeletons.
Please.
That's all right. You owe me one smite.
Okay. I don't know how I do that.
Exactly. All right. I'll use a first level spell slot to cast Detect Thoughts then.
Okay. For the duration, you can read the thoughts of certain creatures. What is your intelligence for your skeletons right now, Miriam?
Well, if they have never really gotten an upgrade except for the perception thing. So right now they're -2.
No, I need the score.
6.
Okay. Which
So
one,
they're
Curly
about
or
average.
Mo?
Second level slot.
Curly or Mo? Which one?
Whichever seems like the most coherent one.
Mo seems a bit more aggressive.
All right, I'll do Mo then.
Okay.
No, I should have had the skeletons on watch. They have a +4 to perception now.
Okay. So, you pick up, Bernie, his surface thoughts. Just speak. Learn. Word. Teach.
He's saying we need to speak learned word, teach. Maybe there's some sort of password or something.
Hun Gruel. That's what you hear Bernie.
There. He's telling us to say something in Hungrul.
Mirian and Tolsha and Bernie, all three of you know Hungrul is the native language of undead. Something that only intelligent and sentient undead understand.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, does Marion speak that?
No.
because it's not an option.
No,
Oh.
well, that's because it's something that has to be earned.
Um,
Or
Wait
specific.
a minute, DM, are you saying my undead have comprehended their own language?
Interesting theory.
You motherfucker. That means my job's actually been going well.
Your
Knowing
character
that,
is progressing? Shit, let me change that.
knowing that I cast tongues, I have that ready.
Wait, so maybe the reason your undead were learning so slowly is because you were literally speaking the wrong language.
And I'm going to touch the skeleton that Birdie's communicating with.
So are you giving the skeleton the ability of tongues, or are you giving...
I'm giving the skeleton the ability of tongues.
Okay. Unfortunately, it is incapable of speaking words.
That's not a spoken language.
Hungrul is not a spoken language. It is a language, but it is not spoken. It is conveyed through symbology and gesture.
Damn it.
Do you
Okay.
know any words in Hungrul? Like, hello? Maybe friend?
Mirian, history check.
Motherfucker.
Can I give it a shot as well since Blood Cleric?
You being a blood cleric is more
24.
specific to things still having blood.
I mean,
which
if
is-
this doesn't work, I can literally just command them, teach me Hungrul. And that can do the best that they can.
They'll do the best they can. It'll be almost as good as you trying to teach them.
That sucks. Okay, I got 24 on history.
There's two words that you had to learn with your minor in necromantic studies before you left the school. Actually, the language of Hungrul is something you would have picked up next semester if you would have stayed in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Poor
Lily.
timing for Lily to decide to leave. Anyways. One thing you learn is not enemy, which is a gesture you have to make with your eyes and the positioning of your jaw in a way to show that you are not a threat towards them.
So I'm going to assume it's the stereotypical zombie. Nah. Is that
Pretty close, pretty close. But instead of nah, it's with the more closed jaw. The open mouth is predatorial. The closed mouth is not.
Dear fucking god, this is such a... Oh wow, this is an interesting language. Like beast.
The only language I've ever heard coming out of undead is brains. Maybe that means something.
Wait, could you polymorph your skeleton into a sentient beast? Or one that's smart enough that could communicate?
Says creature into a beast, but then you would need somebody who can speak with animals.
I can speak with animals. I know.
I would need to know a creature smart enough to be able to communicate with.
Isn't the giant ape smart enough?
Ooh. They know giant sign language because they're giant apes. Or they can learn it in theory.
So, ironically enough, a giant ape is actually... This is only one score above a skeleton.
So, it'll sign to you again, Mirian Call.
I will attempt the non-enemy facial movements.
And they both start chittering at you again. Bernie, as your spell is about to end for Detect Thoughts, yeah, they are actually pleased with the fact that Mirian knows a language that they seem to have just discovered.
Well, they seem pleased, Miriam. Good work. And now I can't hear anything anymore.
They're pleased. I'm ecstatic. They know they've somehow discovered their own language, which means their intelligence has grown to a point where they are. I really wish I had a book on Hungrul.
Because the world really needs more intelligent undead.
Thank you for agreeing, Bernie.
I'm not agreeing. I'm being sarcastic and ironic.
Can I infer whether or not this is a natural progression or the effect of this land?
That's something you're going to need a little bit more time to figure out.
Gotcha.
But right now, you guys are traveling.
Right.
So.
Once we get to the thing down in the ravine, maybe, Tulcha, can you do one of those legend lore things? How long does that take again?
Legend lore? 10 minutes.
Right, well, we should be able to stay safe then. I could set up a magic circle once we get there if we need it. It takes a minute to do them.
I have 2 casts worth of materials for incense.
Right.
I mean, I could probably split up some of my rare ones, but I have those set aside for a different one. Look, being a cleric is expensive.
Sure, yeah, I know. I would need some materials for the magic circle as well. I do have that, but not too much.
Right.
Well, I don't see any undead rising to come and murder us, so let's continue push on.
As you all are walking, Tosha, the 2 skeletons, both stand on either side of you. And then they look at Miriam and sign smell.
Right.
So, continue your journey as quickly as you all can, taking a very short minor stop to speak with your undead as best as you can, communicating, conveying everything that you need from them. You get out towards the mouth of that ravine, but you have to wait. Looking down inside, you see that there's a lot of those bloated ghouls down in there. A lot of them. And the sun hasn't reached the apex yet, so it hasn't crested into this ravine yet. Keep in mind, when it does, you will have 3 short hours to try to get someplace safe. Though it winds and wanes in a way that none of you can predict. And the ravine is set into this mountain that you were warned very, very specifically not to fly over or climb. I think we're going to go ahead and go on break, everybody. We are back.
Freaking.
Hello, and welcome back, everybody. Hope you all had a good break. Before we jump back in the action, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. All those things help us out tremendously. If you're interested in supporting our community a little bit further, consider becoming a member here on our YouTube channel. Memberships start at just $2 a month, and you gain access to some really cool emotes. If you are interested in joining any of our games, we have open slots available. Be sure to reach out to me and let me know. So, where last we left off, you all had begun traversing across this bizarre terrain and territory out here, trying to avoid detection from any of these mounds of undead that seem to be piled up during the daytime inside of this covert sand. You ended up tripping Tosha onto one of them, trying your best to help your party to navigate, but not finding a perfectly safe route without disturbing them. Now, since you did that, the skeletons that Miriam commands seem to have suddenly begin acting strangely. As they are doing this now, Miriam has discovered that apparently his skeletons do understand a language recently, and that language is Hungrul, something he wasn't sure could be simply learned or acquired, but may lead to a lot of interesting interactions in the future. So, continuing journey up ahead, you've made it over to the mouth. You have roughly 10 minutes or so before the sun will rise high enough that this entire canyon will be put back into its slumbered state. And then you'll have approximately 3 hours to make it to some form of safety. Is there any last-minute preparations you would all like to do with only 10 minutes?
Legend lore?
Is that a 10-minute casting time?
It is a 10-minute casting time.
And you're willing to utilize your shit for this?
Isn't it
Yep.
better to do that when we get to the actual spot?
At the spot, right?
No. I mean, we haven't walked to the tusks yet. Right?
No. You can make them out in the distance in that canyon. You can kind of see them, but not with your naked eye.
Could I use the spyglass and then focus on the tusk through the spyglass as I cast Legend lore?
Sure, but you wouldn't know as much about it if you're not like physically up on top of it.
Okay.
I mean, we're headed there, and we'll have 3 hours, so
Right.
hopefully.
Hopefully. So, anybody else? 10 minutes.
I guess Lily will hand out some of the gallons of oil from her bag of holding to each of the party, just so we have some oil to throw at things, and then light it on fire.
How much does a gallon of oil weigh?
Don't know. It was just in the bag of holding, and it didn't have the weight on there. It just said gallon.
From now on, we do have to keep track of weight and such.
Gallon, I think, is about 4.5 kilos.
I'll be right back.
10 pounds ish. 1 gallon. Oil is lighter than water, so maybe not quite as much actually.
I don't think I have anything else I can do. Because
And I'm
I'm
back.
saving this spell for later. Or spell slot.
Alrighty. Well then, you begin to wait And as soon as you have your opportunity, you move down into the ravine. This bizarre terrain is even more different than anything else you've all encountered thus far. It feels very thick in the air, with moisture floating around you all. It feels strange that you can almost taste fresh water, but you can't really discern where that fresh water came from or this odd flavor in the air itself. You look up at these large blackened slates of mountainous edge all around you, and it looks terrifying in nature, just the way it was constructed, the way it was built, and the limited history that some of you know about this large Ebonglass area.
Just realized something. While we're approaching, I'm putting out the magical map to see if there's any hidden entrances or anything nearby.
Okay. As you do that, Bernie, for once, when you use this map and take it out, you only see splotches of terrain on it. Only specific areas, and it seems to be fleeting and broken up periodically through here. It's weird.
That's strange. Map doesn't seem to be quite working.
Concerning.
Right, well, it tells me that we're probably in the right place.
Well, it's not like we depended too heavily on it since we always forget about it.
I mean, I've used it quite often. You say we always forget about it every time I pick it up. So
Right.
we don't always forget about it.
Well, something I might suggest that we do is remember I gave where's the party loot? Because I know I gave a lantern of revealing to someone. I think it was Bernie.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah. Why don't you take that out and use it? So if there is anything that if there's anything invisible or what we can't see, that it's revealed.
Sure. Are we like at the Tusks area yet, or?
This is you beginning to move through here, so we can get you over to the Tusks area. Just wanted you to be aware of what's happening with the map before you start moving in here.
Right, yeah. Okay, so the lantern burns for 6 hours. Okay, so I'll put on some oil and pull out the lantern of revealing.
Alrighty.
It has a 30-foot radius of bright light, and invisible creatures and objects are visible as long as they are in the lantern's bright light area.
Okay.
Just watching the moment you turn it on, like we're surrounded by fucking banshees or some shit. It's like, oh shit, turn it off, turn it off.
Yeah. They were invisible to us and we were invisible to them.
Until now.
So, you move closer over towards the Tusks, and you haven't seen anything invisible thus far, but you're keeping an eye out for it.
Yep.
As you get closer towards these Tusks, it becomes very clear to you that they are that. These large, jagged, sharp, pointy protrusions sticking out from the earth in this canyon. Though the canyon is roughly about, I want to say 200 feet across, the tusks at their furthest length from one another seem to be about 80 to 90 feet across. You move up to the first one, and it seems to be covered in dirt and little bits of mud attached to it, like wind has just blown onto it over the ages, covering it in this nasty gook. Now, as you get closer and look at that, your lantern still reveals nothing.
All right. Well, let me know if you see anything invisible. It's a weird thing to say. Well, Tulsa, you better start doing your thing. See
All right.
Yeah.
I will start to cast Legend Lore.
Alrighty.
I'm going to post a spell.
Yep.
And this... She's going to want to know about the tusks. About what creature came from and how it got here. In the Evanglass, specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, just figuring out what they are.
So, ooh, chicken salad? Let's go. When you cast Legend Lore on this, something strange happens around all of you. You all see this large whirl of wind beginning to happen, and it creates this after effect like image in this local area. You see this tusk going into the ground and attaching itself to a face. The face itself stretches on its widest bit of its clearly non-humanoid-esque head about 140 feet to its furthest sides, and the tusks protrude all throughout it. The creature itself towers tall enough to be over top of this ravine that you are standing inside of. This incredibly large creature then grows tendons and grows ligaments and then grows skin and then fur on top of it until this incredibly large bipedal titan stands before you. You hear off in the distance somebody calling from northwards ahead where you are currently standing. It is Doxum! We have our reinforcements! She still lives. Fight on! As this large creature continues looming forward, charging down this ravine as quickly as it can, launching over the people as from the other side, another titan of similar mass and construction launches, meeting it halfway, and tackles it down to the ground as a battle between two titans begins in this exact location. That is everything your legend lore shows you.
Did everyone else see that?
See what?
She's going to recount everything that you just saw.
To clarify, everybody standing here literally just saw that. But yeah.
Right, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I thought it was
Yeah.
the legend was just.
I said
something that
it
the
did
caster
something
saw.
strange, and all of you see was how I started all of this.
Oh,
Just wasn't sure exactly. Well, that's yeah, I saw.
that was weird.
Yes. I mean, what in the hell has happened here?
Well,
Probably a dead titan.
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Is it wrong that I want to cast Speak with Dead on it?
No, but I don't know if we have the time for that. Although maybe it could help, or maybe it could do some bad stuff. Who knows?
I want to
Probably
roll. Want to roll a religion check on the name Doxum.
Doxum, go for it.
14.
Oh, I saw the 20. I got so happy for you.
While he does religion, can I do history?
History would not tell you anything about this. Religion would.
Okay, then
What
can I
about
get
Yeah, Miriam?
I was gonna say, would Arcana also tie to it if it's ancient enough?
No, it would not.
Okay.
Then may I roll religion as well?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
So,
Never heard that name before, I think.
neither of you have ever heard that before.
Is it
Never
Doxum?
heard of it.
Maybe that's what the skeletons were trying to tell us to call the name.
Maybe? I'm unsure.
Ooh, who here speaks Celestial, by the way? Or, sorry, this would be Primordial. Who here speaks Primordial?
Nope.
Is this group really that linguistically challenged?
Yes.
Hey,
love
I know
it.
4 languages.
Yeah, but, you know.
I mean, I got giant. Isn't that script? No, that's different.
Giant has a Primordial script.
Ah.
Yeah.
No, infernal.
No.
I can
Try to
read all
shape together
languages.
with giant.
Yeah, but you're not reading it, you're looking at it. So, Miriam, roll me an intelligence check, because you're a smart boy.
Nice.
18. Doxum sounds similar to Droxum, which in giant means for glory. And they do have, well, giant is rooted in primordial.
Well, the offshoot into giant says for glory, but that might just be a change in the language.
Maybe. Well, let's just hope this one doesn't wake up then at night.
I think we would have seen it by now then.
It's taller than the ravine. I hoped your perception checks did notice there was not a literal titan walking directly underneath your boat.
Yeah. Though, hey, Miriam, if you ever figure out how to raise this one.
Miriam, you know the last entity that tried raising a titan was Vecna, and that did not work out very well for them.
I mean, to be fair, like it did, like it did work. It just, they would stop before it could get real bad, right?
Yeah, but that was one of the things that pulled aggro from Vox Machina and everybody else who cared about safety and regulation of the realms.
I think I'm going to refrain from trying to raise a titan. Thank you.
Yeah, let's try to leave dead things be.
As he looks to the skeletons and Lily.
Yeah, I just realized who I'm talking to.
Your siblings, yes.
Right.
We all know.
Maybe we should all just try and call out that name then.
Maybe?
Axum?
Well,
Oh, shit, you're the one who said it, Miriam. Oh, no. Roll me a D100.
Didn't, half these people say it before we even translated it?
I did say it out loud once.
Yeah, the others, but they're not the ones that I was waiting for.
Oh,
Vecna?
you're waiting for the necromancer to say it.
There's things.
Oh.
D100, Miriam.
Oh, lovely. Well, here's hoping I become a lich. Because that's the best outcome of this. 70 even.
So close to 69.
Yep.
As you say, Doxum, Miriam, everybody feels a quiver from the earth underneath them and you see two large eyes appear north of you all by, well, about 40 feet or so, and each of the eye sockets are around 25 feet across.
What'd you just do?
He was not dead.
Who?
Uh,
Dox him?
hmm?
I just rotate Lily's head towards the eyes.
I can see them.
I'm going to give the Hagruel not an enemy face. If that matters.
The eye sockets lean slightly forward to look over in your general direction. And Mirian, you hear a voice enter into your mind. You are not the caller of the raven. Whom are you? Why did your voice break my slumber?
I am Mirian. I am a wizard. I am unaware of why my voice broke your slumber. We were just attempting to cross this valley before the light goes and found you.
That seems strange.
He said keeper of the raven? Is that what he asked at
Yep.
the beginning?
Yep. You work for both the raven and for knowledge.
In context, now that I know religion, do I know who he's referring to when he says the raven?
Well, yeah, there's only one fucking like religious figure associated with ravens.
I am a student studying. I'm a wizard attempting to understand the undead.
Are you a traitor to her?
As in a traitor against her tenants?
He asked the question. You have to
If you
figure
are
out what his
referring
meaning.
to the matron, then I believe I am not. I respect the sanctity of the souls and of the departed. I attempt to bring a mind back to the shambling corpses that still exist in our world. Perhaps give them a new life without the need of control.
You are far different from her keeper.
Just a question here: is their whole conversation telepathic, or can we hear Miriam?
I mean, if Miriam's speaking out loud, that's up to him.
I mean, I'm so used to talking to skeletons, I'm not sure. I'm probably doing both.
There you go. Then all of you hear Miriam at least.
He's talking to me in my head.
I can hear just fine where I am. I see there are more keepers with you. Why?
Well, what's it saying, Miriam?
Are we in era of strife again?
I'm afraid I do not fully understand. Why do you refer us as keepers?
are not knowledgeable of this. Though each of you are strange, I can sense what you are. Then this air requires you. Tell me, Keeper to the Raven, since you have disturbed my final rest that I earned on this battlefield, what is it you are doing here, so I may return to my slumber?
We are here to rescue the father of one of our companions. There is a portal to the Shadowfell in this land, and it is spewing undead that do not die.
So
We
then,
attempt.
so then, my fight with Kateria did not lead to a victory. Tell me now, the pantheon that betrayed mortals and their own kind, are they the rulers?
Can I make a religion check on that name?
Sure.
Damn it.
So,
Thank
let me
you.
spell it for you first. You don't know the name, Mirian. However, it yet again is rooted in giant, but it sounds more like a compound of like multiple giant words. Ria is supposed to be the word for dead, death, or right, depending how you use it. And right as in R-I-T-E. Kiti is supposed to be a granting of or a gift.
If you are referring to the betrayer gods, they have been sealed behind divine gates.
So then, the war was not lost, but this battle was.
I'm afraid you have us at a disadvantage. If you're speaking of the calamity, it happened eons ago. Much knowledge of it was lost.
The calamity. A suitable name for what happened here. You say there is an opening still into the shadows.
Yes.
You all reek of life.
Yes. We are aware of what we are potentially walking into.
Then I may do one thing before I return to rest. In my eye, there is a pool of water. Gather it into vials, and when you need to, douse your necks, your wrists in it. Leave nothing else exposed, and it will confuse the more stupid undead. But for now, I wish whatever cause you are working towards glory and triumph. The head leans back very slightly, and then you don't sense that it's gone, but then again, you never sensed that it was here, so...
Think he's dead again?
Well, that was kind of cool.
Right, I'm just glad we didn't have to fight that thing.
Yeah.
He has offered us to take water from the pool of his eye. Apparently, if we doused our necks and wrists in it, it will confuse lesser undead once we're in the Feywild.
Tolsha, your knowledge of blood in particular and survival, that's a very common trick that you use in order to disguise yourself from animals out in the wilderness. Since your neck and your wrists are very warm locations on your body that causes you to emit more pheromones from yourself, covering that up so any pheromones you produce are producing a different scent. Say, if you're tracking after deer, you use deer urine. It's a common thing to do so that they don't sense your presence nearby.
Joey, quick question. Given that information, what's Lily?
You don't register as living. Not to things that care about brains, flesh, blood. You're living in the sense that you got technically a soul.
Does this unit have a soul?
We'll find out.
I mean, we know you're an absolute unit, so.
You're a G unit. Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense then. I mean, you would use a similar method when hunting animals to hide your scent.
Right. But did it tell you where the portal is? Tyrion?
No, he did not. But apparently, this is where he fought a battle against a
Kateria.
Kiria?
Kateria.
Kateria. And that doesn't have no knowledge of this person, but apparently this is where a battle he fought in the Calamity.
Wanna roll religion on that?
Sure. And as all of you remembered, literally just seeing from your legend lord, there was 2 titans that fought here.
Yeah.
22. Woo.
Yay!
Let's
Certain
go.
person isn't here for it.
Yeah, right. To be fair, we've rolled like half as many as we do most sessions, so we take that.
Yeah, our rolls are all lower because they're gone.
When we go to the Shadowfell, he's beyond the Divine Gate. Maybe that lowers the DC.
So,
Okay.
22, Bernie. Kateria? That was a servant of Vecna. Meant to be the gift of death. A titan that was powerful enough that its dominion over miles and miles and miles of territory caused life to not be able to persist nearby.
Oh, is that the Titan that's currently on top of the Holy City? Because you said Vecna, and he wasn't around back then.
Oh, sorry, not Vecna. Shit, I fucked up. Which one was the death one from back then?
The one that has no name?
Kellenvor? I mean, that's
No. That's the canonical one for like Critical Role, not for Mayan. Remember, there's slight differences because we were doing shit well before all of that lore showed up.
Okay.
Yeah, to you wouldn't know his name with a 22, but the original servant of death, the one who ruled before the Raven Queen, the one that the Raven Queen dethroned.
Huh. Yeah. I just relay that. So that means that this one was probably fighting on the good side, then.
By the sounds of it, yes.
Well, maybe they killed each other.
I don't know.
Seems like because this other one was supposed to have sort of like well, emanate some area of unlife or something. It seems like this area is definitely the right kind. It doesn't seem very conducive to life itself.
All right, well, it also seems like ancient history. We should probably focus on, the present.
Right, well, sometimes they're not that far off from each other. But, hey, Tasha, didn't you say earlier that you had some way of finding the route we needed to take?
Once we're in the Shadowfell, yes.
Right, okay.
Until then, no.
Because we need to get there as well. Alright, well, I'm going to start looking around a little bit and see if there is any sort of sense to any sort of tracks of the undead. If it seems like they're coming from a specific direction, or anything.
While he does that, I'm gonna trek up to the pool and fill out as many vials as I can.
Okay. From the limited amount of water that seems to have pooled inside of the eye socket, you get a total of 5 vials. And you're probably going to have to spritz it, which requires an action and lasts for about 10 minutes. Each vial can be used 4 times.
What if we attach it to Lily's spray bottle? Can we lower the dose so it still works?
That would just make it more accurate.
Okay.
I mean, accuracy is good.
Yeah, but yeah.
While he's looking for the undead tracks, can I look for the only maybe source of live tracks?
Sure.
The footprints of a Nathaniel Gale?
From over a couple of years ago? Sure.
I mean, there's a chance he walked in a weird area separate from the other undead.
Sure. Both if you roll survival checks.
Possibility.
Nine.
25.
The undead seem to all like evaporate from this area and go somewhere. You're not sure. They might just been turned into sand or dirt or dust. You know, since they ain't here. However, 25 Tolsha. Wandering through here, you do see what appears to be a small ruined campsite in here. It looks old. By your best estimate, maybe a year, maybe 2. And it seems to have been made for about 5 people.
I found an old campsite here. I'll start looking through it.
Yeah. I'll go over as well and assist.
Lily will just keep an eye out for anything that might pop up and try to kill us.
Perception check.
Ooh, that actually reminds me. How did my skeletons react to this guy waking up?
They didn't really react.
They just smiled and waved.
Another 22. Ooh, I probably should say this. He also called us keepers for some reason.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Keeper of what exactly?
I'm not sure. For some reason, he called me Keeper of Ravens.
It's
Keeper of-
weird. You never struck me as a very devout person, Miriam.
I'm really not, despite my mother's best intentions.
Also, ravens. Like the Raven Queen.
I assume so.
It's weird. But all of us.
Yes. Everyone called us all keepers.
Well, I mean, I
Huh.
wouldn't mind having a raven pet. I don't know too much about birds other than they like to fuck. But if there's one thing I do know, corvids or ravens are basically one of the smartest birds.
Hmm.
I don't know very much, however.
I am going to be investigating this campsite.
Yeah, I'm
Go
assisting.
for it.
13.
So, looking through here, you see that there's a little bit of fur from a coat still attached to one of the rocks, kind of pinned underneath it. You see that there's some spilt ink, which suggests somebody learned was here. And the way that the fire was built, the pit itself, somebody who knew what they were doing when it comes to living out here, or living in general in wilderness.
Okay, so relay all that. I'm guessing this must have been the expedition then.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, it'd be difficult to figure out any tracks right now. I don't necessarily like this next suggestion, but I think, well, if there is a portal that nearby, maybe it just opens at night.
It's a possibility.
We also haven't looked too extensively around for it yet, so why don't we try that first before we assume it appears only at night?
Right, yes. We should make the most of the remaining daylight here.
Indeed.
Yep. All right. So, split up and spread out.
I ask, sorry,
Now go ahead.
can I ask my skeletons if they sense like a pull or any like energy?
They both sign to you, yes.
In which direction?
They gesture further into this ravine.
Okay, so they feel the portal or something powerful.
That's the best lead we have, then, I suppose. Let's
All right.
let them lead.
All right, I have the skeletons lead. I guess we'll keep an eye out. They have a +4 in perception now.
Should we maybe douse ourselves then with those vials?
No, not yet.
We only have 5 of them.
Right.
And as bad as it is here, it's going to be worse when we get on the other side.
Plus,
By the way,
Go ahead.
and just nothing much. Lily's just gonna go over and she's gonna attach the tiny servant with the onto Bernie's shoulder.
What?
Just
What are
hold
you
on
doing?
to that for a while, okay?
Why?
I have my reasons.
Yeah, and please tell me what they are.
Well, he can react easily, and frankly speaking, they can see. What's the word for it? They can they can see, but they don't see. It's like that sight if you're blind
Right.
sort of thing.
Okay.
And if you're leading the way, then I thought he might be able to help by pointing this, and points to the wand that's kind of pointing around ever so slightly at anything that might catch his immediate attention.
Right.
Ain't that right, Cuppy?
Happy.
And Cuppy, the Cuppy like tries to nod and it shakes and stuff.
Huh. Okay. Well, cool. I guess I have a shoulder turret.
Actually,
Thanks.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
Does it have like 3 red dots of laser sight with
I had the same thought when you put it that way, and no, I haven't installed that just yet.
So, did you name it Cuppy because you missed your puppy?
No, because it's a cup holder, or was.
All right. Guys, we're going to have to call the session here. Thank you for playing. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Uh-oh.
Bye.